We continue to follow the latest after investigators say a Florida State University student opened fire Thursday on the Tallahassee campus, killing at least 2 people. Police saying the 20-year-old, who is the son of a sheriff's deputy, also wounded 6 people, all of whom, thankfully, we're told, are expected to survive their injuries. The suspect also expected to survive. I want to discuss all of this here, including the response. So let's bring in Chief Lawrence Revell of the Tallahassee Police Department, joining us now to discuss all of this. I know you are very busy, so thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us.
Thank you for having me, Josh.
Of course. Well, first off, I do want to ask you overall, you are, of course, the police chief there in Tallahassee. Tell me your initial reaction as you hear that there is a potential shooting on the campus there at Florida State University.
You know, just like anyone else, the initial reaction is oh my God, no, not here, not anywhere. That was certainly my first reaction. And then, you know, you immediately hope that these things never happen, but when they do happen, you immediately move into that response mode. Your heart immediately goes out to all the victims, you know, the students and everyone involved in this. But you very quickly transition in our profession to the response and making sure that we get there and make everybody safe as quickly as we possibly can.
And we know that we heard from several officials just yesterday, from students as well, who said the response was very quick from law enforcement. Obviously, all of this happening not too long ago. So I did want to ask you your overall impression of your department's response to this. How do you feel about it?
You know, I could not be more proud of the men and women of the Tallahassee Police Department, as well as FSU's police department, and then all of our federal, state, and local partners. This was really a seamless collaboration that came together, like you said, incredibly quickly. Our response time was within 2 minutes of the initial call going out, and the entire incident was over within 5 minutes. And then, of course, the follow-up of clearing buildings and all that goes into that, making sure there aren't other shooters and all. That process then takes place. So that doesn't occur without the relationships that we built with, again, all of those partners, our federal, state, and local partners, making sure that we're training not only as an individual agency, but that we're training with all of our first responders, our medical personnel, our fire department. We train with them on a yearly basis and make sure that we look at how do we handle these types of scenes. And as I was responding and as I was running into the middle of that yesterday at the very beginning, I saw teams of officers with rifles and helmets, you know, running into to buildings with that element of the other first responders, the paramedics, you know, and the EMS personnel embedded in those teams. And so that's exactly what we train for. And in those type of situations, to see that come into play without hesitation, I could not be more proud of the response from yesterday.
It's important to note, I spoke with several different former retired law enforcement officers yesterday, and one of the first things they mentioned, which is interesting, is the fact that, and not a lot of people realize this, you're running into danger because you're getting to a scene so quickly, and there's really a question about, well, who has a weapon, you know, who, all of that really. So can you kind of describe that to me as your officers are running into danger?
Yeah, they absolutely are. I mean, there's so many unknowns running into these situations, and especially on a campus setting where there are so many buildings and so many rooms and so many kids, you know, running all over the place. You really have no idea who is friend or foe in that type of situation. So again, you have to train for those situations and be prepared for that. That's why we go in teams, but we don't hesitate. We go in immediately, and that's what happened in this case. And although, like I say, the suspect was neutralized within just a few minutes of the first shot ringing out, you don't know if there's other shooters. We certainly, in all of these type situations, you get reports of other shooters, things happening in other areas. We had one of the initial report, which we disproved pretty quickly, but that, you know, one of the active shooters was an officer or someone dressed in a uniform. And so you always get that type of information that comes in on these, and you have to go and prove or disprove those as quickly as you can. But like you say, you just don't know. And you're going into buildings, you're running through open areas with with people running all over the place. And that's just what the men and women in law enforcement do. They understand that challenge. They take that risk every single day, but especially in these type situations. And again, the men and women of our agency, of FSU PD, as well as all of our other partners, just responded heroically.
One thing I do want to talk about is, of course, this active investigation. So I know you can't say too much, but I did want to ask, do officers, investigators there have any idea of a possible motive right now in this shooting? But also, is this suspect known to police? Is this somebody that you heard of before?
To the first part of your question, we have not been able to establish any type of motive in this situation. The suspect initially decided not to talk to us, so we didn't get anything from that. And through our investigative efforts and our analysis of all the social media and everything, we have not been able to determine any type of motive to this point for his actions. You know, it's as the investigation goes on, obviously we hope to uncover that.
And on that same note here, do you happen to know, and again, I know this is an active investigation, only certain information can be released, but if this was a targeted incident or if possibly the suspect knew who he was going for?
Yeah, again, we've made no connection between him and even one of the victims, much less a group of them. There's no known connection between him and any one of them or even them with each other. So we have not made that connection in any way, shape, or form yet.
Does social media make it maybe a little bit tougher for the department, really not just your department, but everyone responding when you have that information that's floating around and only a percentage of it is accurate? Does that make it a little more difficult for you and your department and other law enforcement?
It certainly makes it more difficult. That's just more that we have to follow up on, more that we have to follow through with. At the same time, the community input, see something, say something, truly matters. And so, we encourage everybody to put that information out. But when you get the speculation, when you certainly get the false videos and things that always come in, the false leads that come in all the time in these types of situations, it truly ties up resources that could be more effectively used to further the investigation. So it's a balance between, needing that information from the community and the community coming forward and helping us figure out all of these things that we need to know, and those that are just slowing down the investigation.
My last question here before I let you go, did want to ask, is there any message that you want to get across to the people there, maybe FSU students and staff, the people of Tallahassee, Florida, as, again, this investigation is underway?
No, I very much appreciate that question. What I want to say to FSU and to the students is my heart personally breaks for each and every one of you. Our community, the Tallahassee Police Department, this is a fabulous community. The FSU community is a fabulous community. We have FAMU right here in this community as well. All of our hearts break for you, and all of our hearts go out to each of the family members of the victims, certainly the two that are deceased, as well as all the other students and families that will be, forever impacted by these actions. Our hearts go out to you. What I want to say is something we always say here at the Tallahassee Police Department, and that is we are here for you. And I'll continue to say that. That is who we are. We are here for this community. This is a fabulous community. And the TPD family is here for you.
All right, Chief, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here and discuss all of this. Is there anything I forgot, anything you want to make sure to add before I let you go?
I don't think so. Just rest assured, I say this all the time, but if you look to harm our community, if you look to disrupt the peace of the Tallahassee community, just rest assured, the Tallahassee Police Department will find you, will stop you, and we will bring you to justice. So just know that.
All right, Chief, thank you again for being here with us today. We appreciate it.
Josh, I appreciate you having me on.